Am I the asshole for not telling my ex-husband about our daughter's school concert? Going to try and keep this short but still include all the relevant info. My ex and I have been divorced for almost 6 years and I remarried. I will say that I am in no way a perfect person or a perfect parent, but he is barely either. While we were together, he nearly never helped with anything related to our daughter. He's the kind of guy that considers watching his own child babysitting rather than parenting. For just an example, on days I would have to work and he was home, he would lock her in the bedroom with him and just give her a bunch of toys so she couldn't run off while he was playing video games. And I know this because we lived with my mom for a while and he never even tried to deny it when I confronted him. Anyways, onto the current issue. My ex has had this on and off girlfriend that I cannot stand. They've dated 3 times and she's always caused problems. She's unclean, her kids are extremely rotten and badly behaved. Her daughter relentlessly bullies mine, takes her things, calls her names, and her son's curses worse than a sailor at 6 years old. The most recent incident was that my ex and his girlfriend pulled some really shady stuff. I don't want to go into too many details, but I will if I have to in the comments. Let's just say child services got involved. I nearly ended up in the hospital because of my mental health, and there is now a revised custody agreement. He is supposed to see our daughter on weekends, she lives with me, he pays 0 in child support and is only required to pick her up and drop her off for his time. But he always has some kind of excuse not to. After the incident, I make a point to talk to him as little as possible unless it's something really important. At the same time, while he's actively ignoring our daughter, he's the primary caregiver to his GFS kids. So our daughter, 8, has known about her school concert since end of March. He's only seen her maybe twice since then? I haven't told him at all about the concert. Yes, I know it's petty, but I don't want him there. I know he will try to play dad of year and sit near me, and I just can't deal with him. I also believed that if our daughter wanted him there she would have told him. Well, the concert is tomorrow, and she finally told him this past weekend about it, because she finally saw him again after weeks of him not being around. And now he's mad at me for not telling him sooner because he doesn't have the time to request off work to go. I told him that maybe if he prioritized his child over his girlfriend and her kids, that our child would have told him sooner. He's still pissed at me. So am I the asshole for not telling him about the concert? Edit. Because I've said it in multiple comments now. He has complete access to the school calendar. It's online. There have been multiple events he has been told about in advance and still had excuses, including missing part of her birthday last year. Also, ex will willingly stay home from work to babysit his GFS kids. And daughter only told him about the concert after he said that he and girlfriend might be breaking up because she was excited he might actually have more time for her now. Edit 2. As far and the incident I keep referring to, we had a clear arrangement for Christmas. The Wednesday after Christmas my home received a visit from child services. My ex later admitted it was him who called them and that he wasn't bringing our daughter home, at all. He told child services that we left her alone with an underage babysitter that constantly took her to dangerous places, that we constantly pulled her out of school to go on vacations without her, and that her stepdad is physically abusive. Every last claim was a viscous lie. Even after child services closed the case, ANS confirmed that none of the allegations were true, they still wouldn't make him bring her home. I was 4.5 months pregnant at the time and nearly ended up in the hospital due to stress and other factors. Nobody stepped in on my side until he tried to keep her home from school after winter vacation ended. I did finally get her home and she was terrified to leave the house because she thought he'd come and take her. Custody was amended. And beforehand he tried to give me a fake-ass apology that he was just worried about her, and he wanted me to cancel the custody hearing and let it all go as if nothing ever happened. And he still tries to pretend that he did nothing wrong. Not the asshole as you said, your daughter would have mentioned it if she wanted him there. Further, he could ask about events or followed up on the school calendar, which these days, are usually very easily accessible. Not the asshole as you said in a previous comment, the school's schedule is accessible online. He could have looked if he wanted to, which means you are not the Not the asshole. Your daughter would have told him herself if she wanted him there. If he's not paying child support, you need to report that. If he's not picking up his daughter for visits, then, presumably, he doesn't even see her. I mean, if he is supposed to be picking her up, nobody else should be doing it for him, assuming he has the means to pick her up. If he has the same access to information from school as you do, Then he should know what she is involved in and actively be asking her about her interests and events. Not the asshole as such, but he is clearly too lazy to do that and get the info himself, and it's your 8-year-old who will be the one hurt if she wanted her dad there and he isn't. So maybe you should just suck it up and accept that he's bloody useless and that for the next couple of years, you need to be his social secretary with regard to your daughter. Not the asshole. It sounds like he shouldn't be around your child at all. And besides that, if he wants to be at her events, he can check the school calendar just like all the other parents can. You're not his secretary. Would I be the asshole for uninviting a guest to my wedding because of her request? My British fiancé and I are getting married in the UK, and I decided to invite an old friend of mine from when I used to live in North America. When I was following up with the RSVPs and checking if she would be coming to the wedding, she told me that she has actually just moved to Dubai. She said that she is pretty busy with the move, and juggling a baby, a new job selling real estate and planning a potential wedding a month before mine. I was a little taken aback that she didn't inform me about her wedding either, but she said it was a smaller affair. So that's fine I guess. She said she would then get back to me later on whether she was still planning to come to mine. A few days later, she reached out and said that her partner and baby, and herself should be able to come to my wedding in the UK. We also got to talking about her move to Dubai and she explained that she wanted to save on income tax, and inheritance tax which were the major factors for her move. She then said that UK citizens are the second biggest investors for Dubai properties and then asked if she could do a presentation to sell Dubai properties. I was in denial about what she was asking, and clarified if she meant that she wanted to do a presentation at some real estate conference at the same time when she came for my wedding. But she was actually asking for 5 minutes to do her presentation to my guests at my wedding and said she would offer me commission if anyone bought her Dubai apartments. I was shocked at the time and didn't know how to respond. My first reply to her was, I don't think that would be appropriate. Maybe you can talk to a few people there who may be interested if you want, after which, she said that she will need to make the trip in that case. She was also spamming me with loads of videos about living in Dubai and her properties for sale throughout the conversation. She then indicated on my wedding registry that she, and her partner, will give me £200 as a wedding gift. This was never sent yet and no transaction was made. She continued to send lots of brochures and videos about the benefits of living in Dubai every couple of hours and I repeatedly told her I was already settled in the UK and am not planning on moving. After a day of processing the ridiculous request she had made, I then sent her a text and told her not to even talk about this to any of my guests if she were to come, as I don't want her harassing my other guests with her sales pitch during the wedding. She agreed and said she understands. She then immediately spoke about my registry and asked if PayPal was okay to give my wedding gift. Still no transaction made yet. However, I still don't feel comfortable with the fact that her initial objective was to sell apartments at my wedding and I really don't want her coming now. The wedding is in 3 months and she's missed the RSVP deadline and hasn't RSVP'd yet. We haven't spoken about it since. Hence, would I be the asshole if I told her definitely not to come anymore? I also feel really awkward and bad about straight up uninviting her. Not the asshole. I think you'll be burning a friendship, but I also think this is a friend that you really don't need. Not the asshole. She doesn't sound like a friend anymore. Not the asshole. That absolutely is an unreasonable request. I would be uninviting her if I was you. She will absolutely still try to sell to people at your wedding. She will try to sell at your wedding. Your guests will hate you for it. Uninvited her, write her off. Whatever she promises not to do, you just know that she will spend your wedding selling to people. Uninvite her. Indeed, if she turns up, have her thrown out. Not the asshole.